we took this team, made a few changes, and we increased the damage by 25%, and there's more to come. What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel, and thanks for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay, so we've been doing a couple of account takeovers. People have started redeeming their account takeovers for helping out with sponsors and stuff. If you're interested in an account takeover, make sure you head down to the Discord link below. Join us in Discord and find out how you can get a account takeover via a sponsor or any of the other ways that we do them. We are on Sus's account. He also happens to be a mod for me both on Discord, Twitch, and YouTube. And he has helped out with a couple of the sponsors, and he redeemed a Hydra takeover. Now, we did do one on Nightmare, and we did do one on Brutal, where we basically almost increased the amount of damage by 25%, and that wasn't even the max that we could do, right? These were full auto teams. Some minor clicks were done on devoured head or heads that were devouring champions, because for some reason Plarium just doesn't want to make sure that devour heads are heads that are devouring are prioritized.
We know exactly what we're doing.
Outcome was actually pretty good, and I thought it was not bad, right? We tried to do it as budget as possible. The builds weren't fully maximized because we didn't have oils, ascensions, we weren't fully glyphed, and we didn't have the gear fully maximized. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys the run. I'm going to show you guys the team that we did for Brutal in this video. I will do another one for the Nightmare one because it was actually quite nice. It did take us a little bit of finagling and finessing, trying to make sure that we got the right outcome, but he's definitely happy, and you guys can let me know in the comments down below what you think. Okay, so here you guys can see the teams that we did work with. We actually rebuilt the Nightmare team, which gave him a solid 800 million damage, right, with the boost, I believe. So this was a 4 multiplier, so he did about 200 million. With the Brutal team that we're going to be showcasing today, he did 1.3 billion, out damaging his normal team and almost everything else. So I do want to make sure you guys understand, sometimes the better damage for your account might be a lower version of or a lower difficulty of Hydra. Check to see that you're doing a good enough job on your Nightmare team, but if it's your Brutal or Hard team that is giving you the better damage output with the multiplier, that might actually be the better case to go with. But this is the team that we're going to focus on with today. We did actually use Nekmo, Ukko, Lady Mikage, Ninja, Uggo, and Inquisitor Shameal. And the best part about this is it's pretty much friendly for all affinities, right? We've got the decrease attack. Let me go ahead. I'm going to show you the builds right now, and then we'll get into the run. We're going to start off with the star of the team, which is actually Ninja. Now, Ninja, when built properly, can hit for over 1 million damage on the A1 with a counter attack or with an ally attack from Lady Mikage, which is pretty significant, right? So we built ours in a Savage. Now you can see here, actually the banner is not fully developed, right? We don't have it fully leveled up. We don't have a lot of glyphs on everything, right? We're still working on trying to get some of the better glyphs. We have more lower end. We definitely don't have the best ascensions and oils for this account, but as for Hydra, we do have a few things that made sure that we try to get as much damage as possible. So the ignore defense, we are at 10%. We have him built at 6.2k attack, 221 speed, 100% crit rate, and 302 crit damage with 370 accuracy. Now, this is actually kind of nice because he has a fixed star crushing rend on him, which just destroys the Hydra. So at some points on weak affinity heads, he was hitting for almost 1.2, 1.3 million damage, and that was weak affinity. So definitely was kind of nuts to see. We do have him fully booked, and as for the masteries, we did come down. We went on offense and support. We came down, we took Helm Smasher, we took Methodical along with Stoked Fury. We did also take Cycle of Violence. We did take Bring It Down with Single Out along with Life Drinker and Keen Strike. We did take Heart of Glory, and we did take Deadly Precision. Now on the support tree, you could change a couple of things here. You don't really have to take the Cycle of Violence, although because the A1 will hit so hard, there is a chance that you could proc that 30%. You could take yourself some Cycle of Magic here. It really depends up to you. If you can find, you know, a better way to kind of get to Helm Smasher that's going to benefit, you could skip over Bring It Down and just go to Cycle of Violence. I feel like it's not probably the best way, but if you really want to try to give yourself that extra RNG, you can. As for the support tree, we did come down, we took Master Hexer, we did take Lord of Steel, we did take Swarm Smiter along with Charge Focus, and we did take Pinpoint Accuracy. Next up is Lady Mikage, and with Lady Mikage, we have her actually built to kind of use her almost everywhere in game for Fire Knight, Arena, and we kind of cared about one thing in particular, which was speed. You can see here, we tried to use as many speed sets as we possibly could, or anything that's going to grant us extra speed. So stats wise, for her, we actually built her at 359 speed. Survivability is going to come with her because she's a mythical, so you don't really need to focus too much on it. But we did make sure that we had a high enough speed. I would try to get her as close to 325 or higher. She's not going to break any speed tunes if she goes fast, right? If she's at like 390 speed, she's still going to work in Fire Knight and almost anywhere else, probably better. As for the accuracy, which was the next thing we cared about, she's built at 549 because she has that extra 20% of the ignore resistance. This makes her actually really good for when he uses her in live arena or classic arena whenever he needs to, right? Also for Amius. Booking situation, we do have her fully booked. Honestly, you only need her first form booked. That's probably the most important one for her. Blessing wise, because he uses her for arena, he does have polymorph. Depending on what you have for a blessing, you could go with a couple of different ones. You could definitely come in and take yourself a cruelty, right? Because she does have an AoE. Granted, it's not, you know, on an A1, it's on an A2. It's fine. I actually have mine on my account with Soul Reap to kind of help out with that, you know, finishing off. She does have a 5-star. It really depends on what you're going to use it for, right? Polymorph, though, because she does have enough accuracy, works pretty well. As for the masteries, it's pure support. We don't have her built for any damage. We could. We're not going to gain a lot, though. So we went down the support and defense tree. We came down, we took Pinpoint Accuracy, Charge Focus. We took Swarm Smiter along with Lord of Steel. We did take Cycle of Magic with Master Hexer, and we did take Eagle Eye. As for the defense tree, we took Deterrence. We did take Retribution along with Delay of Death. We came down, we took Resurgent along with Shadow Heal. Shadow Heal is actually very powerful for almost everywhere in game. Hydra is not always going to work as well because when we decapitate the heads, it's not that often. But we did take Rejuvenation along with Blast Proof and Tough Skin. Okay, so Nekmothar was actually pretty crucial on this team. And the reason for that is because he's AoE on his A2 and A3, decreased speed, increased speed, turn meter boost, and he's got a pretty solid aura. So the fact that he brings so much, we put him in a provoke set. Now with this, he's not fully maximized, right? We could definitely get a little more out of him, and the build could be tweaked a little bit to try to boost some damage out. You can see here the top row is still sitting at 12, and so is the bottom, so are the rings and banners. As for stats wise, we cared about a couple of things here. It was only 2 things, to be quite honest. We cared about making sure that he was fast, so we want to try to get him as fast as possible. We have him built with 269 speed, and then we cared about accuracy. Accuracy is kind of low. We haven't fully glyphed him yet, and this is what I mean. Like, there's massive improvements on these builds. The only other thing that we could do to kind of help out with the damage is make sure that we bring in 100% crit rate, right? As for the HP and defense, we got him built at 3,000 defense and 53k HP. Not too crazy, but again, he's not fully maxed out yet. So once he gets fully maxed out, the stats on this would be much better. Skills wise, we do have him fully booked. Now Blessing, because he's AoE, the best one for him is going to be Cruelty, right? The higher, the better, trying to stack that up as much as possible. With the masteries, now we currently have him in an offense and support tree. You don't really have to go with the offense. If you need the extra accuracy, you can definitely come down with Eagle Eye, but it does, you know, the damage will stack up pretty nicely with War Master. Next, we took Methodical, we took Bring It Down, we took Single Out along with Heart of Glory. We did also take Keen Strike, and we did take Deadly Precision. On the support tree, we came down, we took Master Hexer, trying to extend the leech, trying to extend, you know, the decreased attack and the decreased speed was pretty crucial, right? We took Sniper, we came down, we took Lord of Steel along with Evil Eye. Honestly, you don't have to take Evil Eye. I would probably take Cycle of Magic. These are masteries that he had prior to them. I didn't want to mess with too much because we would have to use more gems, right? We did take Arcane Celerity and we did take Rapid Response. These two are going to give us so much turn meter because he brings so many debuffs and buffs that it just makes sense to actually skip Charge Focus, right? And then go to Exalting and Death. We also did take Pinpoint Accuracy. So our next champion is actually going to be Mighty Ukko. He was a fusion, and if you missed him, man, I am so sorry. But on some of these Hydra teams, he is phenomenal, right? The A1 giving us the decreased attack, buff stripping, increased speed, along with making sure that we get a revive. You can see here, we've got him built with a cursed and speed set. Ideally, I would have loved to put him in a provoke set, but because we're using Nekmothar on the team, he fit better on the provoke set than the curse set, right? Again, he's got an A1 and an A2 that's AoE, so it made sense to put him in the curse over the provoke. But you could do vice versa, depending on what you need for your team. You can see here that the ring and the amulet are not fully leveled up. The ascensions don't really make a lot of sense here, right? We have a lot of things that we need to rework. So again, the builds can be a little more optimized. That said, we do have him built with 66k HP, 3.2k defense. Now it will scale up a lot higher. I think by the time the build was done, he was looking at like 72, 73k HP with about 3.8k defense once he's fully glyphed and oiled. Probably actually a little higher. Speed-wise, once the boots are oiled, he's going to be looking at like 285, along with some of the glyphs close to 300. We did build him with 100% crit rate, right? If we could afford it, we build it. Resistance, we don't care. He's got a block debuffs, he's got a decreased accuracy, so he's going to come in pretty clutch. We don't really care about building the resistance. 327 accuracy, it is a little low. We do want to try to get it up to 350, but again, we have a lot of room for improvements, right? We're not fully glyphed. That's the one big thing here. We do have him fully booked out. As for the blessing, we did take Cruelty because he does have a 4-star or 5-star, sorry. So we're not using him a lot in Arena, but we are using him for Hydra strictly, so it does help keeping the Cruelty on it. As for masteries, we're gonna come down and we're actually gonna take Eagle Eye. We took Master Hexer along with Lasting Gifts, trying to improve or increase the duration of that increased speed. Sometimes that might be good or bad, depending on which head is out and who is your mischief tank. We did go ahead and take Cycle of Magic along with Lord of Steel. We did take Swarm Smiter. We did also take Rapid Response. Now here's another one of those spots where you could essentially take Rapid Response, skip over Swarm Smiter, and then take Arcane Celerity, and then do the same thing that we did with Nekmothar, right? He does bring a lot of debuffs and a lot of buffs, so trying to increase that turn meter as much as possible, going as fast as possible is huge. We did take a Charge Focus. Now again, if you're going to try to take Arcane Celerity and you're going to try to take Rapid Response, I'd skip over Charge Focus and go into Exalted and Death and take Pinpoint Accuracy. As for the support tree or the defense tree, come down, we took Delay of Death, we took Resurgent along with Rejuvenation. We did also take Blast Proof, and we did take Tough Skin. Uggo is actually one of the keys that put this team together and makes it mesh so well. Bringing in the decreased defense, bringing in the heal, right? We get in our block debuffs. So for her, we've got her built in a Relentless and Immortal. Now Relentless is actually the best one because we want to try to get her as fast as many turns as possible. Yes, you could go with Reflex, but I feel like the Relentless trying to proc in with the heal, because you're going to be using every single cooldown she has. So trying to get more turns, I feel, is more effective for her than it is trying to reduce the cooldowns. Now, if you have refresh accessories, those definitely work. The Immortal basically helps her stay alive. Taking the more turns is actually pretty clutch. As for, again, the accessories, you can see here, we're not fully maxed out. The weapon isn't fully maxed out. As for the stats wise, what are we looking at here? We've got her built with 71k HP, 3.4k defense. Again, not fully maxed out with glyphs and everything yet. 258 speed. Minimum for Uggo is going to be 250 speed. You want to build her in for Nightmare or Brutal. 100% crit rate because we could afford it on the build. 350 accuracy. That's it. That's all we cared about. Booking wise, we do have her fully booked. We did take Miracle Heal. Honestly, it doesn't really make a big difference because when the Head of Decay is out, whatever you're going to heal, you're going to lose again, right? So as for this, if you had a higher blessing, it was a 5, maybe 6 star, and she was your only champion that you had a blessing on, then probably go Cruelty. I'm not sure what else we could take with her because it's kind of tough, right? Masteries wise, again, we're going to come down and we're going to take Eagle Eye. Now, you could also, if you are finding yourself not worrying about trying to get the accuracy, come down and take War Master, Methodical, along with Bring It Down, single out with Life Drinker, Keen Strike, and Heart of Glory, and Deadly Precision. Taking the War Master is actually going to give you a couple of million more damage, right? And it can definitely add up. So the team can definitely, this team can definitely hit close to 600 million plus if it's fully maxed. I think on my main account, I've gotten this team to hit up to almost 800 million. Now, if you're going to come down the support tree, you come down and you take Evil Eye, right? Master Hexer, you take Lore of Steel, you take Cycle of Magic, and you take Swarm Smiter. You could skip Swarm Smiter and you could come down and take Arcane Celerity because she does bring a lot of debuffs up. Really up to you what you want to do. It really depends on, again, do you have enough accuracy? Did take Charge Focus and Pinpoint Accuracy. Let's talk Inquisitor Shameal. Now, he is actually one that makes it pretty rotation friendly, right? Because coming in with the Fearhead, he is actually making sure that no matter what happens, we're not getting feared, right? We need less supports than what we currently have. We don't need to bring in a Duchess or a Veil. So what we did on this account is we built one build and then we just swap it over depending on who we have for which rotation or which difficulty we're doing. So we do have him built with a lethal set, right? You don't need him with a lethal set because on his A2, as long as he's got a minimum of 3 buffs, he's going to ignore 100% defense. It does really help out on the A1. It's not going to give you a big damage boost, right? But we did go ahead and for stats wise, we, at the current rate, 44k HP, 4.7k attack. I believe once this is fully maxed out, he's going to be looking at about 5.2k. Not the best, can be improved, right? 221 speed, 100% crit rate, 274 crit damage. We definitely have improvement on this. And then we don't care about accuracy, right? Pulling the buffs down a turn, decreasing the turn, isn't really going to matter. As for skills, we do have him fully booked. Having Cast is actually going to be the better blessing for him because he's going to have a lot of buffs with this team, and that's going to give us the most damage output. As for masteries, we actually don't have any on this one. We will come down and you could take either Flawless Execution or you could take Helm Smasher, depending on where else you want to use them. We did take Stoked Fury, we took Cycle of Violence, we did take Bring It Down, along with Single Out, Life Drinker, Keen Strike, Heart of Glory, and Deadly Precision. For the support tree, honestly, you really want the Lore of Steel, right? And the reason for that is you're going to get the extra stat boost from the lethal or the cruel sets. There is an argument to be made to come down and take, Delay of Death along with Retribution and Deterrence. But the passive's going to happen regardless, right? As long as he's just in the team, he's going to cleanse the fear. He's going to give the turn meter boost. So it doesn't really make too much sense. We did take Swarm Smiter, we did take Charge Focus, and we did take Pinpoint Accuracy. Again, the basic reason why we did come down the support tree is for Lore of Seal to be able to give us that extra little bit of damage boost. So you can see here, this is the team that he actually used this week by turning off the A3 on Ukko. Did a actually pretty significant boost in damage. Gave him almost an extra 40 million damage compared to what we did last time. This is actually his personal best. So again, with a few more improvements, his team is going to be at least hitting 700 million damage. We definitely have improvements, right? The gear is the number one thing. The team synergizes perfectly. You're going to see in the run right now that we're going to play, it's about as good as it's going to get for what we currently did. That's it, guys. Again, if you're interested in account takeover, make sure you head over to the Discord in the link below. Reach out, let me know what you're looking for, what we can help with. Usually, if you help out with a sponsor, you get a takeover in a particular area in the game for whatever you might need. There's no really limits on what I do, right? I just don't do gear cleanses. if you've got some time, make sure to come and hang out with us on Sunday for the Knights of Delaria podcast, where we talk everything Raid Shadow Legends. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. There's definitely a lot of good, definitely a lot of bad, and we definitely have a lot of ugly. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys next time.